guys, I am Shane Davis, 20-year comic book veteran. I am here today to talk about the big news, which is Robert Downey Jr. Becoming Doctor Doom, not Iron Man. You heard right, Doctor Doom. And why is this comic book news? Well, because we're going to get into that. If you guys will hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. So first off, Robert Downey Jr. as MCU's Doctor Doom. There's two explanations. Well, there's actually one big explanation, and that's people are souring. The word on the street, superhero fatigue is a thing. Now, of course, Wolverine and Deadpool did gangbusters this weekend, but the fear of superhero fatigue is there, even so much so that James Gunn has addressed it, and his slate hasn't even started. Well, it's filled up, but we haven't even had one movie out or one animation out from James Gunn yet with his heavy slate. So the idea of Doctor Doom being played as Robert Downey Jr. Why would you do that? To restore faith in the brand. A lot of people loved Robert Downey Jr. Did they love Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, or did they just like Iron Man in the MCU films? That's debatable. For me, I liked Iron Man in the films. I don't love everything Robert Downey Jr. is in. I was not a fan of his Sherlock Holmes. Some people are. I kind of wasn't. Some movies I like him in, some I don't. Let's just leave it at that. Is he a good actor? Of course. Tropic Thunder's great. Would be canceled today if he had done it. Where are we at with this? Why is this happening? Well, a couple of reasons is to bring people back, right? Like, this is going to restore faith in everything that Marvel's wanting to do forward. They've had a lot of misses with things like the Marvels. Obviously, nobody's really loving Falcon as Captain America, I don't think. A lot of people still like the idea of Steve Rogers, Captain America, even though we don't have that anymore. And they need to revitalize the brand because they got a second chance at life, kind of. They have two big properties that Disney had bought when they acquired Fox. And one of the things is Galactus. That is a big bad guy, probably the biggest bad guy for the MCU, but Fantastic Four, one of them, and X-Men. So why not think that we got another chance to get this to work, guys? We got, and probably our last chance, because they own all the Marvel characters at this point, kind of, except for Spider-Man and Sony, which they have a deal for. So Robert Downey Jr., a lot of people are kind of polarized by this. What does it mean? And while we're at it, we're going to get the Russo brothers back. And we have a bunch of Avenger films in store, one being Secret Wars. All right, so what does this mean for comics? Well, it means in comics, you're really quick going to explain in comics why Robert Downey Jr. is Doctor Doom in a month. And this is why I'm doing this video, really, is because I've talked about the American comic book industry and the corporate owners. Basically, for people who don't know, Disney bought Marvel, just like they bought Star Wars. Then they eventually bought Fox. And what does that mean for these properties? Does Disney like comics? You know, Disney bought basically Marvel because they didn't have the male demographic. They didn't have the 13-year-old boys buying action adventure characters because they were mainly selling to either little kids or Disney princesses and older women. When buying things like Star Wars initially, and when buying things like Marvel, they thought that they were going to make that money, the collector money, the action adventure boy adventure money. They were going to do all of that. Right? A demographic that can be anywhere between the ages of 6 to 19. And then from there, picking back up from 20 to maybe 55, 60. So that's a lot of real estate as far as selling merchandise and movies and collectibles. So it was a very good business move at the time, I think, for Disney. Now, at the time, they appreciated what they bought, and they were like, we got all this source material and all these characters. What's left that Fox didn't have or Sony didn't have? And they made Iron Man a big hit. Iron Man particularly wasn't a top-selling Marvel character, but everybody loves Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man, right? At the time, Disney, it felt like they had a bunch of comic creators, a brain trust like Quesada, Loeb, Bendis, different people that were kind of brought in to tell them what to do with the movies, and that this character would say or do that, this character wouldn't do that, and the chemistry between these two characters would be this. Then they got rid of those guys, right? Where we're at now, and what I feel is that Disney is now, and obviously you can see they're telling Marvel what to do rather than understanding that all the years of source material here is what we should be following because people liked it. People liked it enough to buy these books and keep these books in print. We can see what through publishing trends and data in our collections and stuff, what people appreciate and what people don't. But now the studio is taking a different move, if you will. And we've seen hints at this before, but never something as bold as this. And this is the fact that Disney is now telling Marvel what to do on short notice and make this work. Now, I'm going to throw an example out there. Let's pretend Taylor Swift says, I love Captain America and I want to be Captain America. So an executive at Disney go, well, damn, that would put butts in seats. Let's, hey, knock, knock, Marvel Comics, I need you to make a blonde woman Captain America and make it work because Taylor Swift is signing the contract now for a 3-movie deal. You see how this works? This could jeopardize the intellectual property. This could bastardize the characters, which don't really age unless the comic industry wants them to age. It is actually a foolish move. And it's very arrogant to not respect the source material. And if we're at this stage of comics where the studios are telling and giving permission to the publishers what they can and can't do and what they need to be doing with their books, which, look, they own the comic company. It's in their legal rights. Okay, it's in their rights. But I don't think these studios like the fans. They like the money in the fans' pocket. But a lot of times they take the fans for granted, as we have seen, and they try to find a new fan and a new audience at your expense, at your investment in the character, at what you expect out of the character, at everything that the character has been known for. They go and chase that new audience. Now, with this thing with Robert Downey Jr. being Doctor Doom, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. Actually, I think it's an okay idea. Actually, I think it would be a good story arc in a comic. I wouldn't want it to last forever, but I don't think this is necessarily a bad idea. It's all going to be on the execution. I feel like Robert Downey Jr. was charming Iron Man. For people who know, Doctor Doom is a horribly scarred face and hides behind a metal mask. Rarely ever do you see his face, and if you do see his face, it's oftentimes in shadow, and you only see the expression of the people looking at it. I do not think that is a good role for Robert Downey Jr. Now, I do realize that, you know, Disney is doing a bit of pivoting and damage control here as they have to get rid of Kang because of the whole Lee Majors situation. I would kind of say this is actually a good move on paper. I just don't like the fact that they're making Marvel Comics actually put this in the comics. Now, of course, this is going to be the ultimate universe, so you could argue, take it or leave it. It's a multiverse thing. Is it canon? Is it not? But this is evidence that the studio, whatever decisions they make, whether it's because of Lee Majors hitting his girlfriend or something, it could trigger an effect that will actually run down to the actual continuity of the comics. We are at that stage where real life actors, real people in real life can do dumb things and affect the continuity of a comic book. And that is something worth talking about. Should comics be a thing into their own? I think so, yes. Now, I am a comic creator and I was a comic fan first. That are my feelings. You may feel different. You may be just a movie fan and you don't really care about what happens in the comics. But do know, if the comics were not left alone by movie studios, whether it be Marvel and DC or even creator-owned books like Hellboy, these films, these video games, these toys would not exist. There is a reason that source material was there, and it was so rich and spawned so many Marvel Legends toys, so many video games, so many t-shirts, so many movies. And that was because comics were left alone to do what they do and figure these characters out over time. 12 issues a year, sometimes double shipping, 24 issues a year, year after year. They sustained fans and sales alike. So why not just leave the comics alone to figure out new characters for you, new stories for you, rather than be the studio that just comes in and say, but we need this idea to be canon and we need you to run this in a comic real quick so we can say this was grounded in comics. If you guys will, please hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notification. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. Please, I would need to know. Also, Shane Davis's Inglorious Rex 3 is launching. My new book, Crowdfunding Comics, is launching this Sunday. If you guys will, please go sign up on Indiegogo or 9 Lives Comics, and you will get a discount and a lenticular card you can only get for signing up. We will email you a link with the secret tiers, and you can purchase with your discount and get that beautiful lenticular card. And if you're new to Inglorious Rex, why not go over to 9 Lives Comics and pick up 1 or 2 and both, and they ship out the next day. Get ready for this next big campaign coming at you from 9 Lives Comics. Here is a smash hit trailer for the next upcoming hit from 9 Lives Comics.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Truth always hurts worse. Doing good till first reverse, now you last. Blast of the past. It's cool though. Last card playing right. Uno. We never let up. Been down forever. Sick man, we fed up. Know that we tired. Wake up the beast that's been sleeping inside.